Welcome, welcome for another session for the subject power system stability. We already have started unit number 6, that is related with excitation systems. Today we are continuing our discussion on types of excitation system. As stated earlier, we have seen the types of excitation system as DC excitation system, AC excitation system and static excitation system. Let us have quick recap of the previous session. In previous session we introduced different types of excitation system such as just now I have stated, that is DC excitation, AC excitation and static excitation, right? Then we also discussed in previous session advantages of unit and separately excited exciter system. We discussed about common excitation bus system, also the unit exciter system. Then in previous session we were having detailed discussion on DC excitation system, right? So let us start for another type of the excitation system as AC excitation system, right? So see students, in previous session we discussed about DC excitation system, where we discussed that the field of the DC exciter was controlled by amplidyne and the output of DC exciter was given to the field of the main exciter, that is alternator, and it was given through slip rings. But we also discussed there that these were old systems that was in between the year 1920 to 1960. But after 1960, AC excitation come into picture, because it was found that DC excitation system, they requires more space as well as they are large in size. So that's why AC excitation come into picture. Let us discuss about this AC excitation system. The AC excitation system consists of an alternator and thyristor rectifier bridge directly connected to the main alternator shaft. The main exciter may either be self-excited or separately excited. The AC excitation system may be broadly classified into two categories, which are explained as. So let us see what are these two categories for AC excitation system. Before that, let us discuss about what exactly the AC excitation system, that is it use as AC machines as a source of power. Usually the exciter is on the same shaft as the turbine generator. For AC excitation system, keep in mind the exciter is on the same shaft as the turbine generator, right? The AC output of the exciter is rectified by either controlled or non-controlled rectifiers, because we need DC excitation to the field windings of the alternator. So obviously when we are using AC excitation, the output will be AC, and to provide that output of AC exciter to the field winding of the main exciter or that the alternator, obviously there is a need of rectifier. So these rectifier may be either controlled or non-controlled rectifiers. Rectifiers may be also stationary or rotating, and depending upon these, the AC excitation are further classified, right? Early systems used a combination of magnetic and rotating amplifiers as regulators. Most new systems use electronic amplifier regulators, right? Now let us see the first type of the AC excitation system, that is stationary rectifier systems. Now here the case when the rectifiers used for AC excitation system, these rectifiers are stationary. Therefore, one of the classification of AC excitation system as stationary rectifier systems, right? So here DC output to the main generator field supplied through slip rings. When non-controlled rectifiers are used, the regulator controls the field of the AC exciter. So regulator again play an important role when the non-controlled rectifiers are used. But when controlled rectifiers are used, the regulator directly controls the DC output voltage of the exciter. If the rectifiers are non-controlled, then what we found? The regulator controls the field of the AC exciter. But if the regulator, if the controlled rectifiers are used, then the regulator directly controls the DC output voltage of the exciter, right? So see this diagram carefully. You can observe here the different blocks as DC regulator, AC regulator, then main generator with the field winding and the armature, then AC exciter with its field winding and the armature. Now for here the type of the AC exciter we mentioned here, it is what? Field control alternator rectifier excitation system. The control rectifier you can observe there, right? Then output, what you observe here, see the output of AC exciter, it is fed to the main generator, field winding of the main generator via diode, stationary diode and slip rings, through slip rings. This is the case when controlled rectifier it is used, right? And you will find the difference for another subclassification of the AC exciter. So that's why I am asking you to observe this diagram carefully. You find here stationary diode, that is the then the slip ring, that is the output of AC exciter. It is fed directly to the field winding of the main generator, but between this output of AC exciter and the main generator field winding there are stationary diode and the slip rings, right? So this block diagram, it is for field control alternator rectifier excitation system. Then another, we know that whether the rectifier it is rotating or non-rotating, that is static, accordingly the AC excitation system has been classified, right? So for another classification, that is rotating rectifier systems, let us discuss few points related with rotating rectifier systems. The need for slip rings and brushes is eliminated. Now in the previous case, when we observed it was not a rotating type of rectifier systems, we found that there was need for slip rings. But in case of the rotating rectifier system, the need of slip rings and brushes is totally eliminated. Such systems are called as what? Brushless excitation systems. Right? They were developed to avoid problems with the use of brushes perceived to exist when supplying the high field currents of large generators. They do not allow direct measurement of generator field current or voltage. There is no possibility for direct measurement of generator field current or voltage, right? Because of the rotating rectifier system. So again you have to observe this diagram carefully. What you observe here, again AC exciter with its field winding and the armature mounted on the shaft of the main generator. Now here you observe, instead of diode, if you remember for the previous case, there was a diode instead of this stationary control rectifier, right? But for alternator supplied control rectifier excitation system, we found that there are a stationary control rectifier and then the slip ring assembly, right? And what you observe different here in comparison with the previous one, that is the diode there, but it is directly connected to the field of the AC exciter. That means output of the AC exciter, it is provided to the field winding of the main generator by the assembly of slip rings and stationary control rectifier. This is the difference between the previous one and this one, right? Now brushless excitation system, another type of the AC excitation system. It is what? Brushless excitation system. Brushless excitation system is a technology for providing the field current to the synchronous generator without using slip ring and carbon brushes. This is really important. That's why the name it is brushless, because the brushless excitation system, it is a technology for providing field current to the synchronous generator without using slip ring and carbon brushes, right? So as this method of excitation, that is brushless excitation system, do not use carbon brushes, therefore the losses because of contact resistance of carbon brushes is eliminated. You may underline this. For brushless excitation system, the losses because of contact resistance of carbon brushes is eliminated, right? You can observe the diagram on the right hand part of the slide. Okay, so you observe here pilot exciter, then the rotating structure. Now it is a rotating type rectifier circuit, therefore it is shown here rotating structure. Then the field winding of the main generator, right? So you observe here the output of the AC exciter. Of course the AC exciter, it is mounted on the same shaft of the rotor of the alternator. The output of AC exciter, it is directly fed to the field winding of the main generator through diode. There is no need for slip rings. That's why the name of this system, it is brushless excitation system, right? So a brushless excitation system is essentially an inside out AC generator that delivers its AC voltage to the rotor of the main generator and receives its excitation from the stator of that same generator. Right? The AC voltage of the inside out generator is transformed to the DC by non-controlled rectifier. You can say here non-controlled rectifier, this way producing the excitation current of the main generator. Right? Let us move further. While understanding this, simultaneously you have to observe the diagram on the right hand side, showing the different components of brushless excitation system. Right? An exciter in the stator of the main generator produces a DC current that controls the output voltage of the inside out generator. The DC current of the exciter comes from a control rectifier, either manually or by an AVR. Right? The exciter can be powered by PMG, this way avoiding any external voltage source. Okay? Brushless excitation system consists of two major parts, as you can observe in the diagram which is shown on the right hand side. What are those two major parts? Those are pilot exciter and main exciter. Right? So let us discuss about these two major parts of the brushless excitation system. Right? So pilot exciter. What is this pilot exciter? It is a permanent magnet, also called PMG, permanent magnet generator. Right? Are you getting now this PMG term? It is what? Permanent magnet generator. Mounted on the rotor shaft. Armature winding of PMG is a stationary part which is mounted on the stator. Thus, when rotor rotates, the field flux created by permanent magnet will also rotate, and as armature is stationary, there will be flux linkage in the armature winding of PMG, and an EMF will be induced across the terminals of armature of pilot exciter. This is the electromagnetic induction principle. Right? We are knowing how the flux linkages can occur when the rotor rotates. Right? So the same is mentioned here. This armature thus produces three-phase AC power by using the mechanical energy of rotor. This AC power from pilot exciter is then rectified by thyristor bridge. Yes, it is. There is need to rectify this AC voltage or AC power. So how you are going to rectify this? By using thyristor bridge. This DC is then fed to the field winding of the main exciter, which is wounded on stator of main exciter. That means dual purpose it is satisfied here. Note that permanent magnet of pilot exciter is mounted on the rotor. Armature of PMG is stationary as it is wounded on stator, and field winding of main exciter is stationary as it is also wounded up to the stator of main exciter. Normally PMG, that is permanent magnet generator, has 16 poles. So that AC produced by PMG will be at a frequency of 400 Hz. If P is equal to Pn by 120, then N is equal to 3000 RPM. Then why such? Because of high frequency, the ripple content in the rectified DC will be low. This is one of the facts. Another, that is why PMG produces AC power at this higher frequency. Armature of PMG, it is as shown in the diagram on the next slide. as you can now observe this armature of PMG, that is what permanent magnet generator. Then main exciter. Main exciter of brushless excitation system consists of stator and rotor part. Rotor of main exciter is coupled with the rotor of turbo generator, on which armature winding it is wounded. On stator, field winding is wound, correct? Normally there are 6 poles on the field, so it will produce AC power at the frequency of 150 Hz. This AC power is then converted to DC by diode bridge. Diode bridge is mounted on the 2 wheels, is called diode wheel, and both diode wheels are connected to complete a bridge rectifier arm, right? So you can observe this diagram here, the whole brushless excitation system. Observe this diagram carefully. Each and every part has been shown nicely. The diagram, it is labeled diagram, right? Okay, let us move further. So one can summarize for today's session, as today we mainly discuss for AC excitation systems. So far in previous session we discussed about DC excitation system. Now for AC excitation system, again we have seen that there are 2 types, that is with controlling rectifier or without controlling rectifier, that is with rotating type of rectifier and with static type of rectifier circuit. Accordingly we subclassify AC excitation system, right? So also we discuss brushless excitation system. Now for brushless excitation system, what you observe, the output of exciter, it is directly fed to the field winding of the main generator without any kind of slip rings. Okay, that's why name it is given as brushless excitation system. See students, one of the advantage of brushless excitation system that there are minimum losses due to the contact resistance since the brushes are absent. So from that point of view also, brushless excitation system, it is more useful, right? So up till now, students, all of you have understood what is excitation, what are different types of excitation system, why we have to consider excitation system, and different elements of the excitation system. In upcoming session, we discuss the last type of the excitation system, that is static excitation system. Now students, you may have question that what kind of MCQ they may ask on types of excitation system. What I am expecting that they may give diagrams, and from those diagrams you have to identify the type of the excitation system. We have seen diagram for DC excitation system, we have seen diagram for AC excitation system. In fact, there are 2 diagrams for AC excitation system. That is for rotating type rectifier system and non-rotating or static type of rectifier system. for SA excitation system. So this is one of the type for asking MCQ based on types of excitation system. Or even they can give diagram, and with each and every block in that diagram they may give numbers, they may write numbers there, and then the options may be related with the numbers for number 1, number 2, that what they are indicating in that particular type of excitation system. This what I am expecting. It is true that totally dependent upon the MCQ paper setter, but what I am expecting, these may be the probable questions, of course MCQ questions, which may ask for the types of excitation system. Even they ask the different types of excitation systems are, right? And the third type, that is what static excitation system, that we will discuss in next session. For time being, you have to just read about types of excitation system. Okay, that is mainly we completed till now, up to till now, that is with DC excitation system and AC excitation system, right? So these were certain points related with the types of excitation system. If you are having any kind of difficulty or any doubt, you are most welcome during our discussion meet. You can ask me during our discussion meet. See students, while reading the AC excitation system or DC excitation system, you have to carefully observe those diagrams, right? Now, as we are not going to write any theory in detail related with this excitation system, so that's why I am asking you to observe these diagrams carefully, because for every diagram you find a difference. You find slip rings for the case of DC excitation, but for brushless excitation system you cannot find the slip rings on that diagram, right? So that's why I am asking you to please observe all the diagrams related with the types of excitation system carefully, right? So that's all from my side. Next lecture we discuss more about the last type of excitation system, that is static excitation system. Okay, so I may say now thank you to all.